Hi, thank you. Welcome. Hi, Divine Feminine. This is a Divine Feminine reading for April 24th to April 25th, and we're going to be focusing on what Divine Feminine is going through right now. We're going to be looking into four different aspects. One of them is going to be the first one is going to be spiritual messages. Second one is going to be emotions and intuition. Third one is going to be mental processing. And then the last part of the reading is going to be about spiritual advice. One thing that I was channeling today, a message that I was channeling is why can't we be friends? I keep hearing the song, why can't we be friends? 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 And then the other thing is like, I thought about it for a long, long time. And the other verse that I'm hearing is, it's important to me that you want to be free. So there's an energy around Divine Feminine. The last reading that we did, we're starting in with Mercury retrograde, and we were really talking about Divine Feminine's messages about the people that you have around you. Um, Now we're looking a little bit, it seems like we're looking a little bit further into the connections, into connections that Divine Feminine has. And we're still in Mercury retrograde. So this is going to be kind of like the next phase, the beginning of this week, because it's Monday, right? But let's go ahead and dive into the spiritual piece. One, two, three, four. So already at the bottom of the deck, and I'm just saying, we have the Six of Pentacles here. Six of Pentacles talks about giving and taking. So it's what Divine Feminine is giving, what Divine Feminine is taking. It's a pretty good, I always like this as a friendship card too. But giving. Since we're talking about pentacles, we're also talking about, I mean, this can be money, this can be materials, this can be advice, wisdom, especially when it comes to morality, giving people sets of morality just by being yourself, Divine Feminine. But the basis is what you give and what you take, and keeping it at a balance. And in the center energy, we have the Page of Pentacles. And like I said, the balance. Um, Balancing out what you give and what you take. And this is the spiritual messages. So, on a spiritual level, this is something for you to be mindful of within yourself. Okay. And learning to balance these things out. You may have an abundance of something, an abundance of love, an abundance of care, an abundance of wisdom, especially because we've got pentacles here, abundance of wisdom, abundance of strength, abundance of will, and you give that, Divine Feminine. So keeping things at a balance and making sure you're not giving without giving to yourself, and be mindful of who you give it to. You know what I mean? Because this type of energy deserves respect. In the recent past, we have the Seven of Chalices. This is about choosing wisely. There was a lot of illusions. So remember, why can't we be friends? Why can't we be friends? There was a lot of connections there that maybe people, these connections are people that showed or had masks with you, didn't show their true intentions with you. Some of them might have been a little bit diabolical. Some of them might have hurt you, and you had to learn discernment. And maybe that's why in the past reading that we did for the weekend, it was talking about that discernment, and it was talking about um, choosing. It was talking about getting messages. Sorry, not choosing, but talking about getting messages. But with those messages, you had a lot of choices to make. You made a lot of choices, especially this weekend, Divine Feminine. Now it's in the energy of the tower. This old structure is coming down. The Why Can't We Be Friends song that I was channeling, and I've been channeling this all day. But the why can't we be friends that I was channeling, this is something with the connections that you have dropped energetically. That's what they're kind of asking you. Why can't we be friends? Why can't we be friends? You can't be friends because you don't have the right intentions. That's why. Okay, that's the answer. With this tower card, it's coming down. Um, we're not an energetic match. You don't have the best intentions for me. Blah 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 blah. All of that kind of stuff, right? So that's what is taking us into this tower of this change within you of discernment in what you give. Now, in the near future, we have the Judgment card. So this is second chances, which kind of goes apply. Maybe some people that are asking, why can't we be friends? Some of them might want another. Some of them might deserve a second chance. Some of them don't. But this is a second chance within yourself of some kind. This has to deal with a certain connection. What I just got in is you had connections with people, and because you were giving of yourself to so many people, and not all of them had your best interest at heart, it made the connections that you had with the people that deserved your time and attention, it kind of made those connections fall through the cracks somehow. I'm feeling that for a lot of you. And so now in the near future, you're going to be going into this second chances, forgiveness of yourself, forgiveness of others, and receiving forgiveness even. Um, but moving on to better structures, new structures. So the old structure comes down, which brings you into a second chance with the Judgment. And then ultimately, we have the four chalices here. So this may be somebody that you knew in your childhood. This might be a child, somebody maybe you've known for a long time, but it's a friendship here. And a connection comes into balance emotionally, ultimately. And that's going to be this week. This is this week right now. It's about a connection. Now, what flew out, and it landed, like this. It landed like this. So bottom side up. So we're going to take it and look at it last. But we have the two of chalices and we have the sun together. A relationship of some kind gets light on it. A relationship gets revealed. A connection has good fortune to it. Okay. Why can't we be friends? 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 Hey, I thought about it for a long, long time. Maybe even for some of you, I'm feeling that there may be somebody that you've known and you have the option to build a friendship with them of some kind or connection. As for a few, could have been somebody that fell through the cracks. It would be somebody that needed more of your attention, more of your care, more of your love, but you didn't have enough to give. And so then that connection fell through the cracks, but that connection was meant for you. It wasn't meant to fall down the cracks. So there's a connection. And also remember that we're in Mercury retrograde. So now's the time to have people coming out of the woodworks from your past. This is the time for exes. Some of these people are going to be your exes. Some of these people are going to be people that you fell out with, old friends. Old connections come back during Mercury retrograde because Mercury retrograde is a time of reflection. A lot of people get afraid of Mercury retrograde. They get nervous. They're like, oh, Mercury retrograde, Mercury retrograde. But it only is a pain in the butt if you go against what it's meant for. You know what I mean? It's not a time to make it's not a time to make new connections necessarily, and it's really not even a time to reconnect with old connections. It's just a time of reflection, and during that time you'll get old connections coming to talk to you and bringing up maybe the reason that you guys aren't talking anymore, and it's a time to really hash that out, talk about it, be about it, and come to peace. You know what I mean? Releasing of karma. Um, so even if this person does come up, I will say, just because it is Mercury retrograde, uh, just remember that it would be more so an opportunity to kind of closure. That's what it is, closure. It's an opportunity for closure. Okay, so now we're going to be looking into the second piece of the reading, and this is going to be your emotions, how you're processing things emotionally, and your intuition. Okay, we're going to hit that intuition and how these spiritual messages are kind of aligning with you. How are you emotionally taking them? All of that. So once again, at the bottom of the deck, emotionally, we got the Two of Cups. Why can't we be friends? Why can't we be friends? So one thing that pops out to me in this card with this message, if you see, like, there's the man and then there's the mermaid, classic Ariel story, classic Little Mermaid story, right? They're coming from two different worlds. So this is a connection of some kind of two people that have came from two different worlds. Could be two different cultures. And we have the strength card, the strength of that connection. It's pretty strong for a human to be with a mermaid. I think that requires some strength. It requires some strength of understanding each other and being open to your guys' differences and not judging differences, but instead accepting each other's differences and bringing them together. They're each giving each other a drink here. And then if you notice in the strength, even with the what's it called? The whale and the mermaid, they're two different species, two different worlds, two different cultures, two different backgrounds. And it's the strength of that connection. Okay. So in the center energy, we have the Three of Cups. This is celebration. So we go from the Two of Cups to the Three of Cups. This is a celebration of some kind. The mermaids are all together. So when I was talking about divine feminine, let's say you are the mermaid in this situation. You're making a connection with somebody who is completely different from you. And there's celebration among the other mermaids. They're happy. So the people that you have around you, the center energy is that happiness, that celebration, working together, having cups of tea in the ocean. You know what I mean? Drinking in the ocean and celebration. There's a star in the recent past, okay? There's a star upside down in the recent past. So you lost hope for something. That's what that Seven of Chalices, when we were looking at the spiritual piece and we were talking about illusions and options and choosing wisely in the recent past. Emotionally, you lost hope for something. You lost belief in something, divine feminine. Nine of Pentacles right now. You're at the Nine of Pentacles. One pentacle is missing. Independence, harvest, abundance, emotionally. Emotionally, you feel at ease because you lost hope in something. When you lost hope in something, emotionally, you unloaded a burden. And then the second card that we have is the King of Cups. That's discernment. That's emotional discernment, divine feminine. Now, this can be your masculine, that's Scorpio energy, you know. It could be your masculine, your divine masculine. But I read for you. I don't necessarily read. I don't necessarily pick up on too many other outside energies, but for a few of you, it could be your divine masculine. But really, I feel like you, divine feminine, are embodying this King of Cups energy, that Scorpio energy of discernment when it comes to your emotions and where you put them. And emotionally, you're fine with standing on your own. You have emotional strength of the King of Cups. Queen of Cups is abundant with her energy. She has an overflowing cup of emotions and she gives. She gives here, she gives there, she gives there. And right side up, she doesn't expect anything in return. She just gives her love because she loves to love. King of Cups is the same way. The difference between the queen and the king is the king is discerning. The king doesn't necessarily just give of his love, give of his emotions just because. He gives of his emotions with purpose. He gives of his emotions discerning. He's not going to give somebody love that he thinks is going to stab him in the back. I don't trust you. I'm not going to give you my love. I'm not going to give of that. So he knows how to be emotionally withdrawn and emotionally giving. And that's the balance there, right? And that's the change of what's going on when we're talking about you're balancing on your emotions and big time with your friendships and your family and your connections, your emotional connections, is you're coming to the point where you are discerning in where you put your energy at. Now, in the near future, we have the devil upside down. This is a release from bondage. Okay. In this deck, it's a release from bondage. Um, and that's with giving yourself a second chance on something, receiving a second chance. Emotionally, you're free. Do you give somebody that stabbed you in the back a second chance? That's up to you, really. And that's up to your discernment. But do you? But understand that they did stab you in the back. Understand that they did not do right by you. And I'm not saying that they don't necessarily deserve a second chance, but you have to be discerning on and look for changes. Look for some sort of action that they do that says, okay, I think that you're on the way to not doing it again. And don't just hand them, you're in this King of Cups energy. You're not in the Queen of Cups energy. The Queen of Cups energy will give a second chance immediately. The King of Cups energy is going to give a second chance with proven track record of change. Okay? Prove to me that you deserve a second chance. And that's the release that you have emotionally, is being able to, no, you did that over there and you didn't do right. You don't just get to come back, you know what I mean, and get a brand new chance like you didn't do anything. Ultimately, we have the Ace of Wands upside down. Remember, we're in Mercury retrograde, right? So this reconnection with somebody is going to be a closure thing. It's not going to be an ongoing thing. I don't necessarily feel that in your emotions. Now, the hidden energy is the Six of Cups. Six of Cups talks about somebody returning from the past. We've been talking about that already. Somebody coming back from the past, somebody coming to see you, somebody that you cared about, maybe your childhood, early 20s. Um, maybe it is a child, maybe it is your child, whatever it is. But it's somebody that you have history with that's returning. Okay. So now we talked about your emotional pieces and in your intuition and the way your intuition is going to kind of feel about this person. You're not going to really feel like giving them that second chance. It's going to be like a test and it's going to be closure. That's what it's going to be. And it's going to release you emotionally from this person. So already in the mental piece, we have Six of Swords upside down. So this is a hard time getting to Six of Swords upside down. Temperance upside down. King of Cups upside down. Knight of Cups right side up. Ace of Swords upside down. Two of Swords right side up. Ultimately, the thing with this person, things weren't peaceful. They put a lot of stress on you mentally. When it comes to your mind, you may have loved this person a lot, but they didn't make it easy to love them. They did not make it easy to love them. It was stress to be connected to this person with the Six of Swords upside down. And then we have the Temperance upside down. So no patience, things weren't balanced. This person may not have been balanced in their mind. You know what I mean? And as you were trying to love them, that's the stress piece. I don't feel balanced. Knight of Cups coming in an emotional offer. But with the Ace of Swords upside down, that emotional offer either didn't come or that emotional offer was a lie. Information. So there was an offer that was supposed to come in, an emotional offer, a peace thing. It didn't come in. Ace of Swords upside down. And then Two of Swords. So you decided to cut it out. Six of Cups upside down again. That's the center energy. You're not really, Six of Cups, we had it fall out for the emotional piece. But mentally, you're kind of moving on. You're moving on. This to me feels like, you've had messages about this person during the weekend and moving on further into this week. Those messages were there to kind of get you prepared for this person to come in and talk to you. You don't really mentally think that they will, though. This is going to be a big surprise because this is somebody that you really have written off. So them coming in is going to be a big surprise. You don't expect it really. Even if you got messages about them, you don't really expect them to come in because they have been spirit in the universe and God has been pushing this person to come and talk to you, and they haven't been doing it. It's like every time it's like a push, go talk, go speak, go whatever, go make amends. And you can feel their energy building up, and they might build up to say something, but they don't do it. You can feel it. So you're kind of tired of feeling it. And it's kind of like either go or get off the pot. So right now your mind is focused on other things, which is probably what triggered this what's triggering this person is because you're literally energetically closed off. Like, look, you are not going to build up and then just leave me hanging again, because that's just a waste of everybody's time. My time, your time, everybody involves time. Like, we got to live our lives. Even in the energetic world, it's like, okay, go figure yourself out. And then go figure yourself out. And if I see you again, I see you again. Recent past, Four of Wands upside down. So this is talking about there's some unhappiness in the recent past. And this might have been the messages that you were getting, because emotionally, you have the star upside down, you lost hope. And this actually could be in the past 7 months. For a lot of you, it's a 7 month, 7 week type of thing. When I say recent past, I mean 7 weeks, 7 months. But mentally, you've been a bit unhappy. So a little bit with that energy of building up, building up, building up to talk to you, and you can feel this pull. You could feel this person and energetically pulling you into their life and everything like that as they try to get brave, you know, try to, get, you know, be like, I'm strong, I can do this, and then they just don't do it. You felt this for the past 7 weeks, 7 months. That's probably why you're like, I'm done because I got some other stuff to do. And in fact, probably when you feel this person getting to work up now, you actually probably close it off even more. And we can see this with the lovers upside down right now. You close it off. You close this person off. That's why emotionally you are in the Nine of Pentacles and the King of Cups right now. You are independent and discerning. You are independently discerning and deciding, I'm not gonna invest in this. You feel this person coming up with this Three of Pentacles upside down as well right now. So you're cutting the cord off. You're not working with this person, even energetically, even spiritually. You are not working with this person. You are in the energy of no. I mean, this person can probably come and give you $5 million, and you will be like, no, you should have done that a month ago. You should have done that 2 months ago. You should have done that like way, way earlier. I'm a manifester. You want to give me $5 million? I can manifest 20. You know what I mean? That's the energy that you're in. You're really just not putting up with it. And this person probably didn't realize that you were going to be like this because you were in that queen energy, you weren't in that king energy. And so you were giving and giving and giving and giving and giving. And this person probably could have saw it as desperation. I'm hearing desperation. They could have saw it as you needed them or whatever, but it was never that you needed them. It was just that you wanted to give of your love. And so now they're trying to come in and be like, oh, I want to give this, I want to give that, I want to do this, I want to do that. And you're done. You're done. The near future, we have the rejuvenation, which is the judgment card. We had it in the spirit reading, and now we're having it in the mental reading. So twice in the same position, rejuvenation upside down. It's not going to happen. Emotionally and mentally, you are in sync and you are aligned. Okay? The answer is no. And then ultimately you are going to be in this Queen of Pentacles energy. So you're going to be abundant. You're going to be in this mentally abundant energy. You're going to be Queen of Pentacles, manages her affairs. She manages other people's affairs as well, like her family members or maybe in a business. She is giving. She's giving of her abundance, of her wisdom, of this, of that, you know what I mean? So she's not like the King of Pentacles, where the King of Pentacles is going to be like, you're not worth my time. So you can go. You know what I mean? She's more giving on that end, but she's also not a time waster either. She's not necessarily, and none of the queens are necessarily time wasters, but she's going to give Queen of Pentacles is going to give practical thinking and practical plans and practical actions for her and her family and her loved ones close. And if you are not in that group, she may not have time for it. Now, if she does happen to have time for it after her family, after herself, her family, her or after herself, her relationship, because Queen of Pentacles is also in a relationship. You know what I mean? Usually in a relationship, you don't have to be in a relationship to be considered the Queen of Pentacles, but after, you know, if you are in a relationship, your family, your friends, and the people that you consider worth your time, um, the people that you invest yourself into, and you have some time after your self-care, your beauty, whatever, I might could say something. The Queen of Pentacles might have 5 minutes of time on a good day. Really, maybe like 30 seconds. Okay. Now, this has been your wish. This is the base of what the Queen of Pentacles is all about. Nine of Cups. This has been your wish. This has been your goal. You really wanted you really want to be that girl. You know what I mean? You really want that. And with the Queen of Pentacles, she's all about focusing on abundance emotionally and material wise and stability, really stability. And the center energy is this tower. So a tower does have, whenever you manifest, whenever you bring something, whenever you wish for something, a lot of times, especially if you're not in alignment with what you want, a tower comes down. A tower comes down. A tower that is in the way of what you want and desire will come down. So like, let's say you want to own a home. Okay. You want to own a home, and you want to own a home in California, and you live in New Jersey, and you live in an apartment complex in New Jersey, and you have a lease, a 12-month lease that you just signed with your significant other. And you say you want to go to California, your significant other is probably like, I don't know if I want to do that because I got family, I've got this, I've got that. It's not uncommon that if you say that you want to, as a manifester, now alchemists is different, but manifestors, when you say you want something, and then all of a sudden, your significant other might lose their job, you might lose your job, you might get you know what I mean, you might have to get out of your place because there's this and that in it. You go through this lawsuit, you get some money, next thing you know, you have the money to go move to California. Sometimes that happens, especially beginning manifestors, especially beginning manifestors. So the center energy is this tower coming down for a wish. Okay, Queen of Pentacles. In the recent past, and when I say recent past, I should just say past, but there's a Five of Swords, something really lethal. Now, this could be you, because the Queen of Pentacles is not afraid to be in. Queen of Pentacles and Queen of Swords and Queen of Wands. They're not afraid to do a Five of Swords move. Five of Swords is talking about cutting something out, defeating your enemy at all costs, no matter the cost. Now, this could either be you or this is something towards you. either way, in your situation. But a Five of Swords energy, it was a change. This move is drastic and it creates change. And that's the biggest thing with the Tower. Okay. That's the center energy. And that's the connection with right now when we were talking about spirit and we were talking about tower. A tower is coming down. Spiritual messages is coming down about a tower. Things are changing, Divine Feminine. They're changing and they're changing drastically. Now we have the Nine of Swords. So remember when I was talking about Divine Feminine that you will want something and sometimes it creates a tower and maybe you might have liked that tower. You know what I mean? Not all towers you'll see are bad, but it was a tower. It wasn't a bad tower. It's just a tower that's in your way, right? And this is what you're mentally focused on. While this person is coming in, this is your mental focus right now. Okay. And you're like, you might have lost your job or you might have lost your place or you're like, dang, like, how am I going to get everything put back together? Right? It's a little bit of a nightmare. This is nightmare and anxiety and worry right now in your mind. But it is at the number 9. 9 comes to is the number of endings, right? In the near future, we have the 7 of Wands. This is a defensive stance. You're going to be in your mind defensive of what you have. This is saying you have something to defend. That's where your mind is going to be. Okay. You're not just going to let somebody come in and start, emotionally changing you, start love bombing you, gaslighting you, especially because they did it already. No, I got too much going on. That's what that card is. That's in the near future. And ultimately, we have the Ace of Cups upside down. You're going to be defensive on this person mentally. So mentally, you're going to be defensive. Emotionally, you're not going to be invested. And spirit messages, you have a chance to see if you want to go ahead and move on with this person or not. That's an option towards you. But energetically, I feel the option is a no. It's a no. And so ultimately, we have the Ace of Cups upside down. This is not making a new connection. The Hermit, going within yourself to find your own answers. Some of these people are going to be left on red. That's what the Hermit just told me. Some of these people are going to be left on red. They're going to open up communication with you and you're going to read it and you're going to move on because you may not have that time. Just like I said, Queen of Pentacles has 5 minutes of time if you're not in her circle on a good day, on a slow day. On average, she's got 30 seconds. And on this day, you got 0 seconds to even put a okay. And we have the Two of Pentacles. And that's why, because you're balancing stuff out right now. You're balancing a Two of Pentacles, trying to make it 10. You've got things to do. You've got your needs, your family's needs, your friends' needs. You've got a lot to deal with. Okay, so now we're going to go into the last part of the reading. And this part of the reading is where we're going to be focusing on actions and we're going to be focusing on kind of spiritual messages. So messages for you, messages on what to do, and what's going to happen. Okay. Now this is the action piece. This is how all of this is going to be manifesting into the physical. Okay, so already, Divine Feminine, we have the Seven of Cups that fell out. Now, this fell out right side up, so we're going to take a look at it at the beginning. But Seven of Cups, so this is discernment. This is choosing wisely. You see, she's looking into the sky and at the cups. And we can see what's in the cups, but she can't because she's on the bottom. So she's looking up. And so she can't see what's in the cup. She can only see the bottom, and she has to choose wisely based off of what? Because we're talking about cups, based off of her emotions, and emotions are intuition. So the basis of that is Four of Pentacles, foundations. Making decisions based off of foundations, based off of building your foundation, building your life, building, especially in that Queen of Pentacles energy, right? Building that life that you want, life of including your loved ones and your family, and making sure that they're doing okay, making sure they're doing good. And this is holding on to that. Son of Pentacles upside down. This is an offer not coming in or an offer not going out. So holding on to this Four of Pentacles and not offering any of them. Nine of Wands upside down. So a Son of Pentacles is not coming in. And it's interesting. So we have an energy of holding on to the Four of Pentacles, and we have an energy of a Son of Pentacles. Because remember, we're talking about why can't we? Oh, somebody's holding on to you. This is the basis. Somebody's holding on to you, but they're not coming. They haven't came. I think that they are coming, but the basis is they haven't came. They haven't come. Five of Wands in the center energy. Competition, arguments. This is somebody, the center energy, this is somebody that you were fighting with. You were fighting with this person. There was a competition, and maybe you got roped up into a competition. I don't necessarily feel that you intentionally went into a situation within, like, maybe you weren't competing, but the other person, they were definitely competing with this Five of Wands here. That's the competition card. That's the fighting, but specifically fighting as competition. In the recent, I keep saying recent past. I just want to say past. But past is the Justice upside down. Things were not balanced. And the Nine of Swords. So once again, we've got the Nine of Swords, and it was a nightmare. This connection was a nightmarish connection. This connection was maybe a bit traumatic. It was abusive of some kind. And I'm not just talking about, it could have been, but I'm not just talking about domestic violence abuse. I'm talking about this person was abusive. This could have been a friend. It could be a spouse. It could be a family member, whatever it is. But it was traumatic. It was some sort of abuse, and there's different layers of abuse. There's different layers, there's different types, there's different categories. So whatever it is to you, but I'm feeling it was abuse. It was very unfair. Seven of Pentacles. Don't grow anything. Right now, don't grow anything with this person. The Sun. You know what I mean? Things are looking bright right now for you. Things are looking great. Things are looking great right now for you. In the Hermit, you've done that self-work. You're doing it right now. And there's an illumination on that. There's an illumination on the self-work that you have been doing. There's an illumination on how far you've come on your journey. There's attention on that. Remember, and that's important for you to remember as these people come back into your life. Remember, you got attention. You got attention on your growth, on who you are as a person. In the near future, we've got Five of Swords upside down. So this is another, we got Five of Swords again. It came up in your mind, right? That person, you see her with the sword. She's licking the blood of her enemies. In the background, those are the heads of her enemies that she cut off. That's ruthlessness. And then we have the Ten of Pentacles here. Protect your Ten of Pentacles at all costs. Divine Feminine. It's beautiful. It's generational wealth. It's something, it's building that life with your partner or your future partner, whoever they may be, your children, your friends, your community. It's to be protected at all cost. Remember that. That's in the near future. You're phasing through that, because as this person comes back into your life, they're going to feel that. And you're going to have to cut that person out. Nope. 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 And ultimately, we have the Empress. Now, the Empress means a lot. This is the Divine Feminine itself card, Major Arcana. This is the manifester. Some of you may be having a baby soon, maybe getting pregnant soon. This is also a pregnancy card, big time. Look at her belly. But the pregnancy doesn't necessarily have to be a baby. It's a project. It could be a project. It could be a lot of things. Whatever you're creating, whatever you're manifesting, drawing towards you to grow up and foster. A baby can be a human or it can be a business. And we have the Fool, another major arcana, the number 0. So this comes up at any point in the journey, at any point. So we have the Empress and we have the Fool, taking chances, doing what you want to do, going with the flow. These are big going with the flow energies. You're able to do that. Your flow is great because you've done the inner work. You've already knocked out your blockages. So when you go with the flow, there's nothing, you're not going to slam into a wall. You've already knocked them all down. There's none of them. You've knocked them all down when you when you go through the Five of Swords upside down for your Ten of Pentacles. And think about that Ten of Pentacles, right? So now you're working on the next pinnacle level, the next pinnacle stage. And we have the Three of Pentacles right here, collaboration. I keep saying Divine Feminine, your energy, especially with that Queen of Pentacles energy, it's about your circle. It's about your circle. And you need to work with the people that you know that you can invest in, and it's worth it. Do business, make business deals with your energy. Don't just give of it. Think about it. Is it worth it in the long run? And these people right here, it's worth it in the long run. But that's ultimately the energy that you are going to be in after you go through this closure. And this closure is probably going to be happening today or tomorrow. Some of you may have already gone through it. Some of you are going through it now. Some of you might go through it tomorrow. But it's going to be at the beginning of this week. Okay? All right. Well, that's what I have here for Divine Feminine for April 24th. And I will see you another time. Bye-bye.